In this video, I'm going to go through a simple trick for you to understand order flow in the Forex market. Now, we're going to get straight into this video today, and we're going to go through exactly how you can use this technique in your own trading strategy. Now, on the TradingView platform, and we're going to be using an indicator that you can find, which is called the 50% body candle. What that's going to do, zoom into the chart, going to show you the momentum moves in the market. We can see where we have these white looking candles. That's showing you where it's consolidating and it's under a 50% body of the candle to the actual wicks. Now this indicator, and just quickly turn it off so you can see the difference. These are all green and black candles. We turn it back on and you can see the white candles are appearing. So what we're looking at is where we see the last move comes from the upside to downside. This is the bullish move up on this candle. It's an indecision candle showing us where the markets are now losing that momentum, and we have a nice solid bearish candle followed by another bearish candle, and then we have a indecision move and then a continuation to downside. Now we're going to use this to show you in this video how you can apply the use of these candles to show that market order flow. So first, let's just go through to the indicator, into the indicators. This is the indicator I've got on the TradingView platform. That's who the actual person is who created the indicator. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. But if you would like to find it, this is the indicator I've used and I'm sharing with you today in this video. So what we're going to do, go back in time. I'm going to demonstrate to you in this video now exactly how you can start using this trick to see the direction of the market, where the order flow is coming from, and be able to help you find and identify where the best opportunities are going to be for your trades. So if you're looking forward to this video and it's going to give you some value today, make sure you don't forget to give me that thumbs up. It's going to help me to know this type of content is helping you. It's going to help you with a strategy as well to understand the direction of the market and where you can potentially look at taking trades. So we're going to start from this highest point here in the market, where we then see the continuation to the downside. Yes, this is in hindsight, but you'll find once you start applying this technique into live market conditions, it's going to help you to identify which way the market is going and when it's going to start reversing. Now, the next thing I like to say is that really you want to be using this on a daily time frame. It can work on the lower time frames, but a daily time frame or weekly time frame is going to work best for you. So let's start this area on the chart. Zoom in. And we're going to start off when we see the market creating this white candle, which is using this indicator. Again, we just turn it off, shows you a green candle, turning it on shows you the white candle. This is where we're seeing the move before the continuation to downside. Now, once we see this, what we're looking for, just use my arrow tool, we can see this candle here drops down. But we're not seeing is what I'm looking for is what I call that imbalance area in the market. Now, I've done some previous videos on imbalances. If you haven't watched those, I do suggest after this video, and they'll be coming up next, for you to go through and to watch those videos on an imbalanced trading strategy. That will go in line with this video to help you to have a full working strategy. So what we're looking for is once we see the market creating a gap in the market, which is right here on this bearish candle, we have the low of this last bearish candle to the high of this candle. So I just remove those two arrows and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. From the low of this candle to the high of this candle, we can create this area on the chart. So there's our area of imbalance. Now, we're not going to be using imbalances in this video, but we're going to use this candlestick for showing the order flow in the market. Now, this simple trick is going to help you to identify these order flow movements. So we're going to use this channel and I'm going to mark off the whole candle from high to low. Now, you can see this gives you a midpoint as well. And this is very often where price will come back to retest that middle point of this candle. And you can see that happens right here. We have a nice drop away. So this is the first area we're going to mark on this chart. Now the market does go down, pulls back. Now there are some areas here we can also look at using, but what we're looking for is that swing high to the swing lower high. This is your continuations. This is your first area to look for entry in the market. Now, whether you're looking for a lower time frame entry here, dropping down to the lower time frames, whatever strategy you're using, this is to show you the order flow. It's not actually to use this for an entry, but to show you the direction of that market until it changes direction. So once we've seen this, we then have the market creating this new candle here to downside. You can identify there is a gap between these two wicks in the market. We have this indecision in the market, then we have the nice big bearish candle. Once again, this creates a new level we can mark on our charts. So notice how we have this first zone withdrawn. We then have price coming out of this zone, creating this new zone. The market drops away. Now we pull back, we go through that zone. But before we get there, we're going to identify here in the market where we see the shift in price. So again, we have a pullback here. We can draw this zone. This identifies the market flow is still to downside. We then pull back into this zone. Again, you can down to lower time frames, looking for your entries, whatever strategy you want to use. This is to show you that order flow direction. We then have again another push through. Again, we draw this zone out. Remember, from the high to the low, and I'm using this as the bearish candle. You can see after the white candles, we have a nice push down. And remember, that's using this 50% body candle indicator. We also have an area on the chart. Just get my drawing tool. We have the low of that candle to the high of that candle. There's our area of imbalance. And that's where we're seeing those hidden orders. Now, once those orders are actually taken and they're removed, then we're going to see new areas being created to the upside. So again, let's just look at what's happening here in the market. So we see the reversal here, taking this level out to the market. Now what removes that level, we can make this swing low, we rally upside, we create this small area here. We have an area of imbalance between these candles. This is the first sign we create this level. And we create this zone by again using the full body of that candle, high to low of that candle. So we create this zone. Now once we break this zone, remove it, we now have a bullish bias. And we're looking for those buys if we see a pull back into this zone. Now again, we have the next candle and we can stack these on top of each other. This next candle is an area of imbalance again. So we can use the full candlestick. Again, price just dips into here and we continue to go to the upside. Now this candle here does actually have an imbalance, but it's not showing you that momentum move in the market. That's why it's good to use this candle filter to help you to see this. And you can see what happens is the market continues up, we create this candlestick. So again, this is a great candle to mark out once we see the close of this candle. Now remember, for that imbalance level, we need to see the next candle close first. So we need this candle to close. Then this gives us our gap in the market. Now you can see the wick up to remove this zone. And then we go into this zone where we actually bounce off the 50% area once again of that candlestick. We pull back to retest in this candle once again. You have one entry here you could have taken. A second entry here which actually goes below the low of this candlestick. We have another push to the upside. Now our momentum is still to the upside. We're still bullish in this market. So again, we can draw a new zone of this candlestick. And this just continues on and on. We can see the break of structure here. We pull back, we create a new candlestick once again. Hopefully you begin to see the concept. So we mark off this candlestick. Now we can remove this zone because now we've broken this zone. At the moment, the market flow has been bullish since this area here in the market. So we're not actually looking for sales yet anyway. Now eventually the market does come into this zone. Now you can leave these zones on to see when the market's coming back to. And you can see that this is the area where the market actually comes up. We drop back in, we retest this level on this zone. We come back to the 50% level. We have another bounce. And eventually we can see the market closes at the 50%. And then we break through this big bearish candle. So now we can remove this zone and we'll have a new zone we can mark, which is this one here. It's our first zone. We then have this drop down, which removes this zone. At this point, once we're starting to see this happening, we're now on that bearish bias again. So the order flow has gone from a bullish order flow to a bearish order flow. Now you can use these previous zones which haven't been tested. Now this one has been tested already once on the way out. You can use these for target when we see this pullback inside here to the 50% of this bearish candle. So we zoom in. When we see this bullish candle closing, we have a small gap between these two, this low on this candle wick and the high. Let me just remove that line. From the high of this candle wick to low of that, we have a small imbalance. We see the market pushes up into that imbalance to fill it, find some orders, and we have a nice push down to downside. Now again, this is just to show you the order flow. To really understand the imbalance, I do suggest watching the video later at the end of this video, going through an imbalance trading strategy. And of course, you want to learn this in even more detail, then there is the Forex Masterclass course. And again, you can find the links for that course below in the description of this video. Now, when we see price eventually dropping down here, creating these levels, we can remove this zone and price bounces off this next zone. Now, what happens is we have a new zone we can draw. This candlestick here, nice big momentum candle. We pull back into 50%. The market comes down. We remove this zone. Again, you can look for an entry here to target this zone, whichever you like to do. Again, we can see the market comes down lower. We come into this zone where we have no zone ready to draw from this point. The market pulls back up again to this area, showing us the order flow is now bearish. We break this last bullish zone we have from the reversal down here in the market. Now this is where we can start to see the market actually retest this zone once. We dropped away. Now we do have a zone here we can draw. Understanding that imbalance area, we see the market comes back into the 50% again. We drop to the downside. Now this is now broken and that's gone back to just take this previous high. So you can see we just take this previous high in the market. Now that's understanding manipulations in the market. Now much more about that side of manipulations. There are some videos in this channel, plus there's much more of this inside that Forex Masterclass. So we can see the market pulls back up, takes that previous high, and then we can see the market continues to go back down. So yes, we do remove this zone, but then we see the market creating a new zone here. Remember, we're drawing off the candlesticks which are creating those areas of imbalance. So we have, this is our new zone. So the orders are still to downside. Order flow is bearish once again. We then have this nice big candle to downside. Again, we can see we drop out, we retest this zone. We then create this one here in the market. Let's get this straight. And you see that zone is held. Again, we go right to the pip, to the high of the zone. We then have a drop out, we pull back, and we have a new zone we'll draw here. So we can still identify that order flow at this point on the chart is still bearish. So we can now mark off this zone as our next bearish zone. Let's get that nice and straight. So this is where we can see the market continues to drop to downside. We then have another zone here, which creates an area of imbalance. And again, this is our next zone. So it's continued sideways. We retest it once, twice, and then we move sideways. So this could potentially be a retracement here or a reversal. And we continue to go sideways. We then push up and we actually doesn't remove this zone. Just make sure this zone is nice and straight. We don't remove the zone, but we do pip up to test this zone. Okay, let's make sure it's nice and straight. So we drop into this zone. Remember, that's where those hidden orders are. And we come into this area and then we drop through. So the order flow is still bearish. Our next candle, let me just go back. This candle here becomes your next candle to show you that order flow is still bearish. We then have another candlestick right here. Okay, that shows you the bearish bias downside, and then this one here is also a candlestick you draw. I'm not going to draw it because you can see straight away the market goes to the upside, creating a new bullish movement, and then we continue to go to the upside with bullish candles. So we remove these zones and we create these new zones here in the market. So at this point we're now bullish on the order flow, but we're coming back to a previous high once again at these highs. And you can see we retest that high. We want to see it take that high. Now we haven't removed this zone here, so we're still on that bearish order flow, but we're just having a retracement at the moment. Again, we take the high. That's important to realize. And then we drop to downside. So as we drop to downside, you can see we have a small zone here we can draw. Just mark this out. This is a new zone. We can remove this zone, and this creates this new zone where price pulls back to 50%, and we drop off and remove this zone as well. So we're back to that bearish bias. Now we do have this zone here as well that we can draw. So we can mark this off as a new zone. You see the way the order flow continues to flow to downside. We pull back to retest it on a couple of occasions. We go deeper once again. This candlestick here we just see has created another new zone we can draw right here. So we'll just mark it off at the moment. And we're looking for the market to continue to fall, and we fall away. Now we do create some more zones on the way down. We can see the order flow is still bearish at this point. So we can draw out a new zone. And again, we can draw another new zone as we create another one here. Remember, we're using these candlesticks created by the filter and creating these areas of imbalance. So order flow is still to downside. We're retesting. And again, you can see we drop to the downside, creating a new zone here we can draw. And so on. We have another new zone, another new zone. Let's just go down to this area. So we can create this zone. Let's just bring this zone so it's straight. We then create this next zone as well. So every time we see that area of imbalance created, you can draw your order flow zone. Remember, it's the entire candlestick from wick to wick. And this identifies that the order flow is still bearish. We pull back inside, we drop out once again. Now it's this point here in the market where we can see a reversal. Now this may be a bigger retracement back up to these zones up here. We haven't had a pullback to this area. Now that does remove this zone. Now we don't create any areas until we see this candlestick here. So we just go forward, and we remove this zone, we'll remove this zone, and we remove this zone here. Now your first bullish order flow here is created off this candlestick. This is our bullish order flow. But we have to look at the trend has been down. You can see the order flow here has all been down. We need to already remove this previous high. We removed this high, so we have looked like we're going to bullish bias. We're now retesting this center line. So we want to see a reversal back to the upside here to see a continuation with this bullish order flow. We have a push up, sideways, and the order flow continues down. So you can see that we had a retest this 50% at this level here. We've now removed this zone, putting it back into bearish bias. It just shows you the reversal. Now this sometimes can be that retracement, or sometimes it can be a reversal. So we can identify, let's move this across. We have new zones to show our area here, bearish bias. And again, we have another one we can draw here in the market. And you can see price comes back, holds at that 50% again, and we have another drop to downside. Again, we can then draw another new zone here. Price is holding. We retest it. There's a very small zone here, which would be valid. Just mark that out. This zone here, this one is not a valid zone, and this is now current price. Now, as you can see, price is holding at the high of this zone. We could see a continuation to downside. So that is exactly the trick that you can use to see the order flow when you're trading with any currency, understanding the use of this 50% body candlestick, and obviously understanding that imbalance and using those candlesticks. Now, if we just zoom out, you can see how the bearish order flow has started from this level up here in the market, and we continue to stack all the way down to current price. And that is the easiest way for you to understand the order flow in the market and to help you to increase your win rate when you're looking to take any trades. So hopefully this video is going to give you some great content. If it has, don't forget to give me that thumbs up in today's video, and watch this video right now, which is going through that imbalance trading strategy, which is going to help you to understand how you can use the imbalances with this order flow technique to allow you to find highly profitable winning trades.